From world events to Washington and New York City, here's your concise world update for Friday, January 23rd. President Donald Trump has withdrawn Canada's invitation to participate in his administration's Board of Peace, marking another setback in increasingly strained relations between the two countries. Trump administration is intensifying efforts to identify Cuban government insiders who might help broker a transition away from Cuba's communist leadership by the end of this year. Sweden's migration minister on Thursday called on the European Union to develop a common system for issuing identification and travel documents to Afghan nationals whose asylum applications have been rejected or who have committed crimes in their host countries. Emergency crews in New Zealand continued searching for victims of a landslide that tore through a busy campground on the North Island after days of heavy rain. Vice President J.D. Vance placed himself at the center of a tense clash between the federal government and state and local officials over immigration enforcement on Thursday, calling for greater cooperation with ICE operations and urging leaders to lower the temperature around the highly charged situation in Minneapolis. Maine's Democratic governor on Thursday pressed federal immigration officials to disclose basic details about a sweeping enforcement operation in the state as fear spreads through immigrant communities. U.S. Airlines issued broad travel waivers on Thursday as a winter storm forecast to dump heavy snow, sleet, and dangerous ice across roughly 24 states threatened to disrupt air travel heading into the weekend. A man accused of offering a $10,000 bounty on Snapchat for the killing of a senior Border Patrol official was acquitted Thursday in the first criminal case to go to trial stemming from last year's Chicago area immigration crackdown. The U.S. House on Thursday narrowly approved a $1.2 trillion government funding package, despite Democratic opposition over ICE. President Donald Trump plans to travel across the country on a weekly basis to rally voters ahead of the midterm elections. Jack Smith forcefully defended his investigation of Donald Trump on Thursday, telling the House Judiciary Committee that prosecutors uncovered proof beyond a reasonable doubt. The Office of Management and Budget has directed nearly all federal agencies to compile detailed data on how much funding they send to a group of Democratic-led states. 2 teenagers were arrested and charged after allegedly spray painting dozens of swastikas and other anti-Semitic graffiti at a Brooklyn playground frequented by Jewish children. 2 men injured in separate attacks during a violent subway rampage in the Bronx, and police arrested the suspect. Appeals are expected after a judge ordered New York to redraw its 11th congressional district, a Republican-held seat that includes Staten Island and parts of South Brooklyn. Mayor Zoran Mamdani on Thursday defended Mahmoud Khalil, calling federal efforts to deport the Columbia University graduate an attack on free speech. Fewer than 200,000 Jewish Holocaust survivors are alive worldwide today, with roughly half living in Israel. Wall Street's main indexes ended higher on Thursday for a second straight session, as investors bought stocks after Donald Trump backed away from tariff threats against European allies and fresh data underscored the resilience of the U.S. economy. Millions of existing homeowners want values to stay high. Those competing interests, along with others, make it difficult for policymakers to give younger Americans a meaningful boost in a punishing housing market. From the Middle East to Wall Street, you're up to date.